Hello guys, welcome to another section with me. In this video, I'll be walking you through the different tools in the Pixellab app and how to use each of them. So let's go straight to the app. We launch the app by simply tapping on it. As you can see the Pixellab on my phone, I just tap it and it's launched. When it's open up, you see exactly what you have on my screen now. So we'll start by talking about the different tools just at the top of the app, after which we will talk about those at the bottom. So at the top of the app, if you notice, we have various tools. There are about 11 of them. So let's start by talking about the tools on the first line there. So the first tool we have there is the add tool. That is the plus sign you have there. So if you click on the plus button, it gives you several options as to what to achieve using that button. So the first thing you achieve is to add a text to your document or to your project. So if I click on the text, you see it imports a text layout where I can edit it and put in whatever I want to put in there. If I click on that plus sign again, we'll see the current date. If I tap on the current date, it gives me a date template where I can also edit. If I tap on it again, I have sticker. So you can actually add stickers to your design. If I tap on it, as you can see, various sticker, just as you can see, I'm moving them. Various stickers you can use for your design. You see the love shape sticker. You see several stickers you can use for your designs. So all of this came with the Pixellab app. I think I've seen something that is familiar. Good. You see this? You must have seen this in some of the designs around. So this came with the app. You can use any of this depending on what you want to achieve with your design. You can also use emojis. So away from the sticker, just beside the sticker, you see emojis. Tap on it. You see different kinds of emoji. A happy face, a sad face, a cry face, different kinds of emojis you can use. So if I want to pick any of them, I just tap on them. I can increase this or decrease it. So this is pretty much what that is about. So I just close this. The plus sign also have a shape option, so we can add a shape to our design. If I tap on the shape, automatically it has the default shape as a square. So we can change this by typing on the arrow pointing down there. Good, it brings out the whole collection of the shapes. So I can just decide to go with the star shape. So if I scroll down, I can reduce or increase the opacity of the shape. So but let's just leave it at 100. I think it's good that way. We can change the color of this shape. You can change it to black, you can change it to green, a lighter green. But I think I like the white the way it is. So let's just close this. Okay, so we click on the shape, on the plus sign, we add a shape. So I want it to be white. Good, so this is it. So another thing you can do is to add a stroke. If you scroll down, you see what we have there. See a stroke. So we can add a stroke to this shape. What is a stroke? It's just like giving the shape a border line, a different line around the borders. So if I increase this stroke, you see the stroke color already is black. Of course, you can change it. If you go down, you see where I can change the stroke color. I can change it to green. You can change it this. You can change it to black again. So let's use the black color. I think it's fine that way. So that's it about the shape. So we just save this and continue. So other options there is that you can import images from the gallery. You can also draw over your project. If you click on the draw option there. So the next tool we want to talk about is the save tool or the save button, just the one next to the plus sign. If you click on it, it says save as project and save as image. So you can save your project as a project template of Pixellab app. So let's say you're doing something and you need to attend to another thing before you come back to your project. You can just save it. You save your work. So it will save not in your phone, but in Pixellab, so that anytime you come, you can start editing it again. So for example, if we click on the save as project, for example, we click, okay, it gives us an option to name the project. So we just say JTech 3. Okay, I think I've used 3 before, so let me put that JTech 4, and I click on OK. So it has saved this project on the Pixellab. So the other save is save as image. So we can save our entire project as an image. So we just click on it. It gives us various formats to save it. So you can see the JPEG format. If you click on the arrow just at the JPEG format, you see that you can also change it to a PNG format. So that is pretty much it's about that. So the next one is the share icon. If you click on the share icons, you see we have various ways we can share our project. You can either share it via Facebook, via Twitter, via WhatsApp, Instagram, and the rest of them. For example, if I want to share that my work via WhatsApp, I just click on the WhatsApp icon, and it will take me to the WhatsApp page. Good, this is my WhatsApp, and I can send it to anybody I want. So I just tap on Jubilee, and then I send. Okay, that's the preview. So I just click on send, and you see it has good to just send. So that's how to use the share button. So let's just go back to our project. I hit the back, I go back again. Good. So this is what we are working on. So the share button, if I click on it again, you notice that from this button we can also save our project. We can save it to gallery, and then we can change the dimension, the default dimension. Let's say, for example, we want to save our project as, want to use it as a YouTube thumbnail. So we just click on this default. Okay, not here. I'll talk about that later. So the dimensions actually gives you this option. Either you want to save it as a low quality job, as a medium, high, very high, ultra. So we just leave it at default. I think that will do. Okay, the next one we have is the quote button. The quote button, a very wonderful button that a lot of people do not use. What does this quote button does? It gives you a pre-made template of motivational talks, motivational tips you can use for your project, depending on what your project is all about. So as you see here, we can find plenty of these motivational words, plenty of them. We can just use any of them. Apart from the motivational words, it also gives us option on different other areas. For example, if we want something across success, if we want something that talks about friendship, if we want something that talks about happiness, it gives us an already built template for that. So for example, let's click on friendships. See, it gives us a lot of ideas what to say about friendship. Let's just look at a few of them. The first one says, love is like a wild rose bearer. Friendship is like the holy tree. The holy is dark when the rose bearer blooms, but which will bloom most consistently? That is such a wonderful word. So you can also look at the second one. However rare true love may be, it is less than true friendship. Okay, so depending on what you want to say around this area, you can just choose any of them. So I just go back. So the next one is the more option button. That's the 3 dotted lines you see. If you click on it, it gives you more things to do. Okay, good. I was about talking about the kind of image, the size of image you would use before. So if you look at these options, you see image size. If you tap on image size, it gives you an option to change the custom image size. So I can decide to put this at 500 by 500. Maybe that's the size of the flyer I want to design. That's the size of the logo I want to design. This is where you change it. If you want to design something for a social media post, for example, maybe you want to design a YouTube thumbnail. It's either you go look for the size of a YouTube thumbnail, or you use what you have here already. Just click on the arrow by the custom there. It gives you this option. You see, YouTube channel banner, YouTube thumbnail. So YouTube thumbnails are those background image you see people use to do their YouTube videos, the one at the background, the one that describes what the video is about. That is what its YouTube thumbnail is. So I want this, my projects, I want to use my project for a YouTube thumbnail. You just click on it. It gives you the default sizes of a YouTube thumbnail, 16 by 9. That is the ratio. You just click on OK, and automatically it resizes that. You can now reposition your text and your images very well in such a way that it will show properly on that size. But of course, for now, we want the size we were using before, the default size. So I'll just either I click on the more option button, I go back to image size, and then click on the custom and say OK. Okay, and let's do that again. Okay, we'll put a square, we'll go back to the custom. I think it should work now. Good. So we'll come back to the default size we are using. Okay, so we will now go to the next line. Let's talk about the tools on the second line. So you can see the first tool there is the circle with a pen at the center. So if you click on it, that's the edit button. If you click on the text or a shape, the text, for example, I want to edit, you just click on edit, click on the pencil shape. So it gives you an interface to type. So you can just let's say JTech, want to type JTech digital agency. You can use this to make it all caps lock. You can bring it back to, but let's make it all caps lock. I think it's fine that way. So just click on OK. Okay, just I want all this to align to be on the same line. Okay, to be on two. So I just see what I did. I just drag this edge, just drag it a little, and then it's giving me two lines. So I want it that way. I think it's fine that way. So that's what the edit button helps you to do. The edit button, if you click on it again, you can see other options. You can copy you can duplicate this text by just using the icon beside the pencil there. If you click on it, it duplicates it. Okay, so the next one is to delete the circle with the waste bin at the middle. So I tap on this image, this text, and I click delete. It gives me a pop-up that says delete the selected object. So you just say OK, and it's off. So let's delete a few things here. This new text, let's delete it. Okay, now let's leave it to talk about, to use it to do something actually. Let's delete this date. So I just tap on delete and say OK, and it's gone. So the next one is the undo button. You can see the arrow, the curved arrow pointing towards the left. That's the undo button. So those of you conversant with Microsoft Word, sorry, not Microsoft Word, sorry. Those of you conversant with some of these editing softwares like Photoshop or CorelDRAW knows exactly what the undo button is. So we use it to call back what we have done. Just like some of those things I've deleted, if I click the undo button, if I click on it now, it brings, okay, it takes back the stars to a position it was before. If I undo again, it brings back the date I've just deleted. So that's pretty much what you can use that for. So I just delete one more time. Okay, so the next one is the zoom. Just click on it and zoom. The next one is very, very important, and this is the grid. So the grid is just like lines that help you align two texts together, to align two texts properly. For example, let's align this new text. Let's just make it bold a little. Let's align this new text and this JTech. So I want to align them using the first line. So I come here, I make sure the J is on that line. The J is just at that line. Beautiful. Now I come to the new text, and also want to align it to get the same position. So you see, I can successfully align this if there was nothing like a grid line or a grid. So if I tap the grid again, it goes back and I'll see, oh shit. Okay, let me use the undo button. Okay, let's just redo what we've done. Let's just do it again. So I tap on the grid and it brings the line. The JTech is still on that line. The one that left the line was this. Good. So it's now in position. So if I tap it, it goes off. You see that the both lines are positioned. They are starting on the same line. I can also use it to position this new text at the middle. For example, I go back again and I position this to position it at the middle. You see? So you can see that clearly. So it's at the middle now. It's at the middle. Oh, better still. That's good. I think this gives us a better. So you see, part of at the middle where it is, part of the new text is on this box, and this one is on this box. Exactly the same spacing. So if I undo, if I tap on that grid again, you see. So it just helps you to align text together or properly. So please always make use of this tool. It's a very powerful tool. The next tool we want to talk about, which is the last there, is the layout tool. What does the layout tool help us to do? If you watch very well in this project, there are different elements that makes up a project. On this one, we are using as a sample. 3 elements makes up this project. What are the elements? This is the first one, the text element. This one I'm moving about. The second text element, and then the third one, which is a shape a shape. So these are 3 elements that makes up this design. The layer icon or button makes us do 4 things basically with this elements that makes up the design. For example, if you click on it, you see all the elements that makes up this project. You see the star, you see the new text, you see the JTech digital agency. So we can either lock each of these elements so that they cannot move. So once we are sure that this is the position we want it to take, or where we want it to stay in this design, we can just simply lock it and it won't be able to move around again. For example, this JTech digital market digital agency, let's say we want to lock it. So we'll come to a place where we have that, and that's the last one there at the bottom. You see that padlock shape? Just tap on it, and when it's red, it means you can't move that JTech about. So I'm actually tapping on it now to move it, but I can't move it. But if I tap on that key again, I can now move it around. The same thing with the shape. If I tap on the shape and I tap on that padlock sign, I can't move the shape again. I'm trying to move it now, I can't move it. So I unlock this. I can also decide to hide this shape, the star shape. I don't want it in my design again. I want to hide it. Just click on this shape that looks like eye with a stroke against it. Just click on it. You see, the star is hidden. You can decide to show it again and say, so this is what the layout helps us to do. We'll talk about it more, use it more in our subsequent design. So I just click on it again and it's off. So that is it about the icons or the tools at the top of the Pixellab app. What about these at the bottom? These are very, very powerful tools. These tools makes our design comes out very, very well. Now, there are basically 5 tools we want to talk about here, but each of these 5 tools have a number of options in them. We'll just try and rush it. The tutorial is becoming very long and I did not plan it to be like that. So we just rush through them and then talk more about it when we are doing a proper design. So the first tool you want to talk about here is the background tool. You can see the 3 circles that overlap each other. That is the background tool. So Pixellab app comes with a pre-made background. These backgrounds have different designs. For example, the first one you can see is a default background, which is the one we are using. We can decide to use any of these backgrounds here. For example, if I want to use just this background, I can tap on it. It's asking me if you want to open the project. You can say yes. So you see, we can now use this background. We can tap on the next one, tap on the next one, tap on this. So these are various backgrounds. You have the 3D background, different types of 3D background. If I tap on this, see, so you can start editing this. Text. You can use this stroke background, see, and you can start editing. You can use this. You can just use pretty much anyone. You can see this, beautiful, beautiful. You can also use this, beautiful. So these are backgrounds that came with the app that you can use. But I want to go back to the default background. Oh, I've lost my design. Okay, I think we saved our project before. We can just go to my project and call it up. Good. So we have this. We have this, but we have to delete this. I think we deleted it before. We have to delete this. Delete this. Delete this. And we can now edit this and put it. Okay, we had JTech Digital JTech Digital Agency before. Click on OK, and there we have it. There we have it. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is the tool button. So that's the one with the A. So sorry, the text button. So this button helps us to manipulate the text anyhow we want and give it a fine look, a sleek look, a fine design. So the first thing we have under A there, that's the edit text button, is the styles. You click on the styles and you see browse. That browse gives you a pre-made fonts or styles that how you want your text to appear. For example, this one that says sample that is written with red, you can just select it and you see how it comes out. It comes out very fine. But we are going to use what we have before because a number of things are here already, which I'm going to talk about. If you look very carefully, it has something like a border, a strokes, a 3D effect. I've not talked about those things. So let me just undo this and take it to how it was before. Okay, account of, let me see. Okay, let's just use this. Let's just use this. We can still achieve what we want to achieve. So the next one is to edit button. So we can just put in a few text or remove some text, but let's just leave it the way it is. JTech Digital Agency. Okay, the next one is copy. We can copy this just like we did. We can just duplicate this text and we have another copy there. Now, to front and to back is the next one. If we have this text, we bring this text to this shape, what happens? The text is behind the image. So if we want to bring it on top, which is of course what it should be, we just use this option that says to front and it's on top. If we want to take it back, we use this that says to back. But let's keep it on the image. The next one is position. So we can use this to position this up, side, that's towards the left, towards the right, up, down, and the likes. So just close this. Sorry, just cancel this. Okay. So the next thing is relative position. So where do we want this to be? The shapes we have down, of course, tells you where to align your text to. You can align it top right, top left, middle, bottom right, bottom left. So if we want it to go right and left, we use the arrow that's pointing left with a stroke. Tap on it and see. If we want it to go top, we use the arrow that points up with a stroke and it's up towards the it aligns with this other digital marketing agency. So let's move this relative position. Good. So if we want it to go top right, we use the arrow that faces right with a stroke, and that's it. That's pretty much how to use that. So we just cancel this. Text size, you click on it, you can make this bigger, you can make it smaller depending on how you want. Okay, so let's say this, go down, save. The next one is padding. You can pad this towards the right, towards the left. You can pad it towards the left. You can pad it towards the right, but we don't need the padding for now, so we'll just leave it at what it is. So I just close this. The next one is color. So you can change the color of your text. You can pick any of this color. You can make it green, you can make it black, you can make it whatever color you want. So, but we just stick to the color it is before, so I just close this. Good. The next one is texture. This is another beautiful thing. It adds a sleek, a kind of beautiful effect to your text or to your shape. But for now, we're talking about the shape. So it's pretty much what it does to the text that it does to the shape. Now, what does texturing means? We have textured backgrounds. So this textured background help us to make our text look like that background. So it's just like a material kind of background with with some kind of effect. So I'll just quickly go ahead and use one of them I've downloaded. You can go to Google and type textured background and you see a whole lot of them there. So let's me go to the one I have downloaded. So I just click on texture. You click on this image sign here. You click on it. It takes you to your gallery. To your gallery. So I have one here already. So this is it, the yellow, shiny yellow image you can see. So I click on it and it brings it up. I crop it a little and I say okay. Wow, guys, did you see how that came out? Beautiful, isn't it? So it just took the color of that textured background and the properties of that textured background. You can see this one now. If I increase it a little so that you can have a feel of it. You see? So it has the properties of that background that we textured it with. So that is how that works. And it is coming out fine. It's very fine now. So you just enable and then you save. The next thing is the opacity. So we can enable the opacity and then either make it darker or make it lighter. But I think I like the way it is, so it should just remain there. The next one is the rotate. Normal, you can just rotate this anyhow you want. So I close this. The next one is a mask. This mask is a very wonderful tool too. Let's just see what it will help us do. Now, the masks help us to uh, cut off some part of this text, for example. Just chop it off a little and give it a kind of look. If I enable this, for example, if I want to move this around, you can't move this around like this. If you want to move it around, you click on these four arrows that are pointing outwards. Click on it and you can move it around. Now watch. I want it to cut off this agency, some parts of this agency a little. I want it to cut it off. So I just place it there. See, it's cleaned already. So if you click on save, that part of the agency I've chopped up is not showing again. You see, I don't want it chopped off, so I just undo and everything is now showing. So that's how to use that mask tool. So the next one is the font. Beautiful. Fonts are very important for your designs. You can't do it without it. Take your time, choose a good font for your write-up. This font is fine, but just for the purpose of this, we just click on font and try to see what to do with it. So you can just choose from this font here. Let me see what this look like. Okay, no, I don't like this. So I click on font again. I click on which of them would we use now. What does this look like? Okay, no, I think that's the one I chose before. I don't like it. Okay, fonts. So just take your time and choose a good font, please. It makes your work come out very okay. This classic. Let me see classic. I think I've used this font before. Beautiful. So you see how this font make this text came out. It's very fine, so we can use that. So please take your time, choose your fonts and all of that. So the next thing we shall be talking about is the style. So you can actually choose the style option. You can make this, you can underline the text, you can italize it, you can even bold in it. But for now, I just want to use the bold option. So I undo this by tapping on the T with a stroke. So that it goes back to the default and on good. I just want it bold. So I tap on the bold and it's this. I'll save it. Okay, so the next thing we do is a curve. This curve is a wonderful feature. If I increase the bending of this curve, just imagine what happens. Wow, you see this? If I take it this way, you see this? Beautiful, right? I know you can begin to imagine a whole lot you can do with this tool, a whole lot. So if you want to write something around uh, just around the border of a circuit shape, for example, you can just do this and it gives you that view. You see, let's imagine that this star was a circle. Imagine that it was a circle. Just use that to do. Is this not beautiful? So that is what that curve tool helps you to achieve. Now the background can this tool can enable you add background to the text. So if you just enable it, so you can change the background color to green or anything. You can reduce it, make it half or make it full and all of that. But we don't need a background, so I just close that. So the next one is to align. So the align make it align to the left, center, or that. So the next option we have here is a stroke. You can actually add a stroke to your text. So that is it. You can choose a stroke color. You can choose green. You can choose black. I think black is coming out well. You can manipulate the width. You can decide to just make it small or whatever. So just manipulate. You can save this when you're done. You can add a shadow. You can add a shadow. You can reduce the opacity of the shadow. So the text we are working on already have a shadow on it because that's what that's what we choose. You can reduce, make it blur, make the shadow blur, make it thin, reduce the blur, reduce, and all of that. So just play around all of these things actually. You can offset it to the y-axis, you can offset it to the x-axis, or you can offset it to the y-axis, however you want it. See? So I can just enable this and then save. The next one is to emboss. So just watch what will happen if we enable the embossment tool. Just watch. Did you notice that? Let me disable it again. Enable it. So you see, it gives it that lightning effect, which you can position where the lightning effect is coming from. If you hover, move this around, you can see where you can choose where the lightning effect is coming from. So you can just keep it at this place. And then you also have some advanced option. Intensity of the light ray. You can make it bright, you can make it darker, whatever, however you want. The ambient, you can also play around it and then save. The next one is perspective. If you enable the perspective, you can make this look like it's on the wall. You see, it's on a 3D wall or something. And once you enable it, you click save, it takes that position. But for now, I don't need that, so I'll click on perspective again and then disable it and then save. So the next thing there is the 3D rotate. So we can rotate this towards the right axis or to the left y axis or to the x axis. Now I want to rotate this towards the x axis. See what it looks like. You can even turn this upside down. But let's just make it look something like this, something like this. Good. That is for the x axis. For the y axis, to look something like, maybe you want to position it like this, looking like it's hanging too. Good. And just use this to beautiful. So I can just save and proceed. The next one is the 3D text. If you enable the 3D text, see, you can also reduce the depth of the 3D effect. You can darken it, you can lighten it, whatever. Just play around it. You can also rotate it towards the x-axis and the y-axis. You see? You see? So just play around these things. You can save and continue. You can add a shadow to your text. Okay, to add a shadow, let's just use this text so that you will see it clearly. If you want to add a shadow to this now, we'll go back to shadow. And then shadow. Okay, so this is it. You can enable it, give the shadow any color. See, we can reduce the increase the opacity if we want so that to show clearly. Increase the blur radius. You can also increase that length. Expand, increase, expand, increase. So let's just leave it and then save. The next one is the last one. Eye reflect. It's just simply to duplicate this. If I enable this, see what happens. To just duplicate it and turn it upside down. Good. You see this? Good. So that's what that function is. So if I just save and continue. So the next one is the tool that will help us edit our shape. Just like we edited our text, the next one is the shape edit button. So you just click on it and tap on the shape. This time it will help us edit the shape like this star. So you can delete, delete. If you want to edit, that is simply by changing this shape. You can change it to a square. Let's change it. Okay, let's change it to this shape. Good. Change it to this shape. You can delete it. Undo. You can crop it. You can copy this. If you click on copy, it just duplicates the shape. You can also use the bring to front, take to back. You will know what that means already. You can also use the position, relative position, just the same way it's also the text. The same way you can texture the text, you can also texture this image. Let's see if it works. You click on this like we did, crop it a little and then save. Beautiful. Did you see how this came out? So this texture effect is a very wonderful effect. Well, you are going to appreciate it more when we start designing a logo or a proper flyer with Pixellab. Maybe that will be in our subsequent class. We are going to appreciate this texture. We are going to use it to design specifically a logo. We texture the logo and you see how it will come out. So that is it. You can just save and continue. The next is giving it a stroke. We know what that the marks, talk about the marks before, the 3D shape, all of that is just pretty much the same thing. So let's talk about the fourth shape at the bottom. This is called the background shape. So it's used to change the background, give a background color. Like if you want to change the background color, you can just tap on any of the color, you can just do this, you can just any of the color you want to use. It just talks about the background, so you can just save and continue. The next one is can decide to make the image transparent. So once you click on that transparent, it's transparent. But I don't want it to be transparent, so I just undo. Okay, the next one is the image size. The same thing we talked about before. You can make it a YouTube thumbnail, a Facebook cover art, anything you want to make it. But let's just stick to what we have. You can also import image as your background. You can also import image to use from your gallery. So let's say we want to import an image from gallery. I tap on gallery. I think I have an image here. I will still use this image to do a project later. So I click on this image and I say yes. You see, the background has changed. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. What else? So that's it. The last one is the lightning effect tool. So the brightness tool or something. So there are different kinds of brightening effects you can give it. If you tap on that first one there and enable it, you see, it's like the light is coming, spreading out from the middle towards the background. So you can also manipulate it. You can also change the color and all of that and all of that. Let's leave it the way it was. I just close. And also choose the noise effect. If you enable it, you see, you hover, you increase the alpha. You see what is happening. The effect is given to that. I don't want that. I close. If you want, you can click on the stripes, enable it so the background changes to a stripe. You can also repeat the stripes. The bigger the stripes are, okay, see what happens when the stripes becomes bigger. If I increase the repeat, you see, the smaller it is, it duplicates the stripes very well. But if I make it bigger, the lines became just fewer. They are now fewer lines, but bigger. So that's just pretty much that. I don't need that. I close it. Brightness, you tap on the brightness, you can increase the brightness of the background, you can decrease it, I leave it the way it is, I close. The contrast, the same thing, you can contrast, close it. This is the color, you can, okay, here is the same lighting effect and color, so I don't want that, I close. Saturation, you click on it, the color comes out, I don't want that, I close it. So guys, this is pretty much the tools and how to use them in Pixellab. I will see you in the next video where I'll be going into in-depth practical how to use these various tools to design a logo and a flyer. Peace.